Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker.
I drive these brothers crazy, I do it on the daily. They treat me really nicely, they buy me all these ices, Dolce and Gabbana, Fendi and Adana, Karen, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly, girl, but I ain't asking, they say they love my ass, and 7 G's, true religion, I say no, but they keep giving, so I keep on taking, and no, I ain't taking, we can keep on dating, I keep on demonstrating my love, my love, my love.
The internet is a funny thing. I've been watching YouTube religiously since about 2011, the year after I graduated high school, fun fact. I would say I've learned 2 big things that will stick with me forever. 1, religion is bullshit. And 2, just when you think you've found the worst thing on the internet, you'll find something even worse in a month, give or take. For me, it started with toddlers and tiaras. Then it was Ray William Johnson. There's an early internet nostalgia bomb for you. Then came Fred and Shane Dawson. Skipping forward a bit to Digital Homicide, Logan Paul, Onision, Derek Savage, Zoofiles, and Minor Attracted Persons, Fat Activists. Anyway, my point is that there's plenty of horrible shit on the internet sprouting up every day, and some shit that has yet to be discovered. But all of this shit is child's play compared to the insidious nature of conservative propaganda. In particular, a certain non-university who has had its ads placed fucking everywhere on YouTube for a long time. If you've inhabited YouTube for any length of time, you've seen ads for this fake internet university, so it needs no introduction. I'm talking about PragerU. Oh, my bad. I mean, PragerU. Whoops, fuck. I mean, PragerU. Fuck it, good enough. Now, I will give you a short rundown of some of the various positions held by Prager Not a Real University. They believe that black people should stop complaining about slavery and Jim Crow laws. White privilege is a myth to endorse hatred of white people. Trans women are men and vice versa. Classic. You shouldn't debate leftists, coming from the same people who champion discussion and debate. That's fucking funny. Or maybe they don't want to debate because they always lose. It could be that too. They believe systemic racism isn't real. I mean, come on. Of course. Over-policing black communities isn't a problem. And the most laughable of them all, having their videos put in restricted mode on a private website they don't own is censorship. How ironic, coming from the same guys who bought shitloads of ad space on YouTube. Yeah, all I have to say to all that is PragerU is abbreviated to PU for a reason.
Uh-oh. Stinky poo.
Speaking of conservative propaganda factories that don't understand anything about censorship, PragerU has been raising money to sue YouTube for quote-unquote censoring them. This lawsuit has been going on for a while, and honestly, it's baffling how any credible lawyer took this case seriously. They raised $25,000 for this cause, which is even more baffling. Do Prager doo-doo fans seriously think that Dennis Prager, of all people, is hurting for cash? What, did they spend all their money on ads so they can't afford to sue a private business because it won't let them blatantly lie and misrepresent data to push fake news bullshit on young adults? It is really funny to listen to them bitch that YouTube is trying to censor them for political differences. First of all, good luck proving that in a court of law. But to address the point, this would have some merit if it weren't for the fact that YouTube has also infamously restricted anything relating to LGBT issues. If you even so much as mention anything related to the LGBT, there's a very good chance your video will be restricted. The only reason I have any sympathy for them is because YouTube's restricted mode is implemented so terribly that it can muddy the discourse around political and social issues. I don't exactly see what suing the entire website is going to do. I mean, You're essentially trying to sue Google. Good fucking luck there. I'd rather try to eat an entire cactus with my bare hands. It's just comical. You think your 25 grand is gonna do anything? Fuck, Google wipes their ass with $1,000 bills every day. You don't stand a chance. It is that, along with the fact that the restricted content can't be monetized, which leads me to believe that this is all just an excuse to scam their most loyal fans. And if they even made $1 with this flimsy bullshit, I would be disappointed in the human race. Oh dear Lord, that's depressing. But wait, there's more. This isn't even the worst of it. Oh, we're getting to that right now. So, this video kind of went viral on Twitter. You might have seen it by now. But it's a 2-minute video on who was Robert E. Lee. Okay, so a condensed history of one of the most prominent Confederate generals of the Civil War. That doesn't sound like something that would go viral. But don't get comfy yet, my uninformed friend, because that title is a bit misleading.
Statues of great historical figures, like Robert E. Lee, are being torn down across America. Here are some facts about Lee that remind us why his statue should remain.
Okay. So this is not exactly a condensed history. It is a flat-out defense of the Confederate statue. Oh, Lord, have mercy on my damned soul. Maybe some of you remember Charlottesville. That whole controversy was based around this same statue, and it features this spicy little clip. Heritage, not hate, huh? Yeah, get that bullshit out of here, Delta. So here comes PragerU to the defense of a monument that represented an endorsement of slavery and being a traitor to your own country. Oh, this could only end well.
Robert E. Lee was connected to George Washington through his father, Light Horse Harry Lee, Washington's cavalry commander, and his wife, Martha Washington's great-granddaughter. Lee's home at Arlington House was just 10 miles from Washington's Mount Vernon. Today, it is the site of Arlington National Cemetery.
So the statue that is a monument to a man who sought the enslavement of human beings for the benefit of cheap labor for the rich landowners deserves to stay because he was related to George Washington in some way. I think there's a few problems with that argument. Mostly the fact that it isn't one, much less one I would take seriously. But knowing that PragerU is a propaganda factory, I could tell you what I think they're trying to do. Conservatives have a long history of treating the Founding Fathers like godly beings of infinite wisdom. That's why they'll never budge an inch on the Second Amendment, or the First for that matter. So by having this tenuous link to George Washington, they're subtly trying to give him credibility by association alone. This is how propaganda is supposed to work. Being subtle enough that it causes you to stop thinking about what you're hearing. Or a thought-terminating cliche if you want to be all nerdy about it.
After 30 years of military service, Lee led U.S. Marines to crush the attempted slave rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown in October 1859. 21 co-conspirators had seized a federal armory, and all of them were killed or captured, including John Brown, who was tried and hanged for treason. Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
Really, nigga?
Oh boy, yikes! That's a fucking yikes! That is not something you're supposed to say. Hot dog, PragerU. What the fuck were you thinking with this script? I mean, I'm not surprised at all that Dennis is a deeply racist shithead. If you've seen any other video they've made on race issues, you would see them making every racist argument in the book. But man, you're not supposed to be this overt about it. Propaganda lives and dies on subtlety. So in other words, you failed. So yeah, the fact that this man is known for crushing a slave rebellion is the reason he deserves to be immortalized in a statue to forever remind everyone of his accomplishments. What a fantastic and well thought out reason to defend a man who killed his own countrymen for the benefit of rich white landowners. And man, to think that isn't even the worst quote from this video. Pointing out that Lee thought black people were more of a burden on white people because they were better off as slaves than in Africa. I sincerely doubt that. I'd rather die of malaria than spending my life working 19 hours a day for breadcrumbs and getting whipped to death if I don't do well enough. A real symbol of modern American values, isn't he? This is a man who deserves to be forever celebrated in the form of a statue. Were you supposed to be defending him in this video? I don't know anymore, because this video doesn't seem to make any good points at all, if you could even call them points. But what makes this even funnier is that Robert E. Lee has openly spoken against Confederate monuments. No, I'm not kidding. The thing that neo-Nazis literally murdered other people to keep can't even be defended by the person the statue was made to glorify. Don't believe me? When Lee was asked about monuments, he responded, quote, "I think it is wiser not to keep open the sores of war, but to follow the examples of those nations who endeavored to obliterate the marks of social strife, and to commit to oblivion the feeling it engenders." Oh, the irony of these people defending a statue of a guy who never asked for a statue in the first place. Oh boy. I can already predict the NPC conservative response to everything I've said thus far. "Statues are history, libtard! Stop erasing history! You can't erase history!" Wrong. History is a ruthless documentation of facts and evidence to explain the course of events throughout a specific time period. Statues have almost nothing to do with that. Statues have served the purpose of glorifying figures who have accomplished great feats. Robert E. Lee was a man who fought till his last breath to keep African Americans in chains, and he lost the war. Sure, he did do a lot more than that, but that is the legacy he left behind. Why would you glorify a loser? Is this the man who deserves to be remembered forever? Why? He was an abhorrent piece of shit who treated human life like cattle. Fuck him. Why is this the hill you want to die on? And I know, okay, their most likely response is going to be, "Oh yeah, libtard. Where will it end, huh? Washington? You think George Washington should be taken down, huh? He was a slave owner, so that means he was evil, right? Not quite. George Washington has earned a statue in his name. That man fought the entire British army to escape the monarchy. He was also the first president of the newly founded United States of America. Oh, and he actually won the war, too. That helps. Robert E. Lee is a joke in comparison. At least Washington wasn't the main inspiration for the Ku Klux Klan. So, yeah. Oh, and for anyone who seriously wants to come at me with the whole racism isn't an issue anymore bullcrap, I want you to know that this video got quite a shit kicking from reasonable people, but it also got far more likes than it deserved. 6,000 plus people heard everything this video had to say, and still clicked the thumbs up button. Let that sink in for a second. There are people who heard that Robert E. Lee led squads of soldiers to kill slaves that opposed him, and they thought, yeah, I agree with that. What a good man. Hell yeah, what a true American hero. If that thought doesn't disturb you, then I don't know what to say at this point. I'm Karina McDaniels, and I'll see you next time.